Nelson. Kevin. Kevin Smith and Ken Nelson join professional contractor, television host, and educator Mike Holmes in a conversation about their shared passion for indoor air quality and making it right from the beginning. Learn the facts about indoor air quality, how it impacts our lives, and how we can build sustainable, effective solutions that make every breath we take the best possible and truly breathe well. Please welcome to the stage Kevin J. Smith, General Manager, Life and Device Solutions Divisions, Visual Solutions Department from Panasonic Canada Inc. Ken Nelson, Group Sales Manager, Panasonic AAQ Division, and Mike Holmes, Professional Contractor, Television Home, Healthy Home Advocate, and Forbes' third most trustworthy celebrity, and Meters Digest second most trustworthy Canadian, and our first most trustworthy panelist, right? Take it over, gentlemen.
Great, thanks, Rosalie. I'm Kevin Smith, General Manager of Life and Device Solutions at Panasonic Canada, and I'm joined today by Ken Nelson, the Group Sales Manager for the Indoor Air Quality Division of Panasonic Eco Solutions North America, and our very special guest, Mike Holmes, a man who's made a career of making it right as a contractor, an educator, and a leading television personality around the world. As one of the most trusted voices in home renovation, Mike has been a long-time advocate for paying attention to indoor air quality and making it right. We're all passionate advocates for the role of indoor air quality, and Panasonic began our Breathe Well program to facilitate a conversation with builders, contractors, homeowners, and home buyers about the importance of indoor air quality in sustainable building and in our lives. We take over 20,000 breaths per day and spend close to 90% of our time indoors, way too much, where the air can be up to 4 times more polluted than the outdoor air.
That's right, Kevin. We're not talking about pure Rocky Mountain air. We're talking about air that could be 4 to 5 times more contaminated, more polluted than the outdoor air. Most people don't realize that they take in more air each day than they do food or water. We consume about 18 kilograms or 2,000 gallons of air and only 1.2 kilograms of water and 1.3 kilograms of food. So it's considerably more. But in the end, we filter the water and we buy organic and clean food. But how much attention do we pay to the quality of the air we take in? Mike, what do you see in the homes that you make right? And what is your view about the importance of indoor air quality?
You know, air, we can't see what's in the air. And that's what I love about this. It's one of those things we don't know about. If you can't see it, it's out of sight, out of mind. I tell everyone, we breathe approximately 18,000 spore counts of mold in a cubic meter of airspace outside every single day. In your home, because we're making homes so airtight now, if you exceed that level of mold spore counts, you're going to have issues breathing. And it's going to get worse and it's going to get worse. That's just one aspect of air.
So one of the things I often talk about is that's for one person. If you have a small footprint, an apartment, if you will, and you have 2, 3, 4, we wind up with these larger occupant counts in there. Take all of those numbers and throw an exponent on there. It's just remarkable how fast the air can become contaminated. So,
I think it's interesting, Ken, when you talk about that. One of our salespeople, a dear friend of both of ours, likes to talk about how if you're not taking care of indoor air quality, you're going to bed at night and breathing in everybody else's skin cells. Pretty gross, but pretty graphic and pretty accurate. Mike, I've watched your shows for years, right back to the beginning. You've had some real wrecks to make right. What are some of the challenges you found related to air quality, and how did you remedy them?
I think people pay too much attention out there on the beauty of the floors, the countertops, the kitchen cabinets, and they're not really looking into alternatives on how to have clean air. I mean, everyone knows, change the filter on your furnace every 3 months. Why not change the filter every single month? Why do we need to wait? Why do we not put money and education into, and I mean your own education, finding out what do I need to know about my home? How and what should I do about my kids? I talk about this all the time. If you find out if something's bad for your kids, you're going to do something about it.
right away.
Right away. When it comes to yourself, you don't think of these things. So you just let it go. And, did you clean your ductworks this year? These are things that I think we need to start looking into.
And obviously be smarter about the whole process.
Please pay attention to it. We're seeing a growth of people at higher allergies, bronchitis, asthma. This has just been ongoing. And what people don't realize is this is related to your home. We are more and more indoor today than ever. And especially through the COVID days, this has been the pandemic. It's been crazy. You're spending more time in a home, especially with a lot of people, and not realizing how the air quality is in your home.
Right.
What about hidden contaminants, Mike, like VOCs?
VOCs, let me tell you, volatile organic compounds. Some people don't even realize it's in the carpets, it's in the furniture, it's in the air we breathe. We're now not only making an airtight home, but we're introducing more and more VOCs to an airtight home. It's even in cologne and perfume. I don't think people know that. How do you clean that?
It is cologne and perfume. That's what that is. So, Mike, what was the worst situation that you've encountered? How do you feel that it might have impacted the people in that home?
Years ago, I filmed a show with a wonderful woman. She had lost her partner due to a lung issue, and it ended up being through in all our investigations. Their home was contaminated with mold, absolutely contaminated. And they've been breathing this in for years and years and not thinking that it could do anything wrong with them. The problem about breathing in mold continuously, it's going to certainly affect you. And then this is going to cause major issues. And it did. So, I mean, I was big advocate years ago saying we need to pay attention to mold. We need to find out using better products how to reduce mold in your home. I mean, what does it start with? Moisture and organic product. That's how it happens. I don't ever want to see or deal with another television show like that again because they lost a life due to this, to not knowing.
It's amazing what a difference it can make. My wife had severe allergies when we lived in the beaches in a 1920s home. And just as we were moving, we were doing a paint, we found the source of black mold. When we moved to California, she took her allergy medicine to the doctor in California, and he said, I'm not going to give this to you until I test you. Every allergy she had was gone after 10 years of being in that house and having those allergies.
That's how simple it can be. One little thing starting to affect you, and we don't realize what that is.
It's an attenuation. It really is, right?
Ken, you're in a market where it rains almost every day. I mean, Seattle's a great place, but the Rain Festival does run from January 1st to December 31st each year. So humidity has to be a factor. Energy recovery ventilators can play a key role in managing humidity and contributing to energy management. How's the adoption going in the U.S.?
So humidity's always been a challenge with quality built homes. And let's be clear, we talk about how the air in the home can become stagnant and so forth. And that's in large part is because we're building a tighter envelope. So what we absolutely have to have is a predictable air change that's occurring. Fresh air coming in, stale air going out. And that's what the ERV does. The ERV will take the air that's inside, it looks at that, and again, this is not a cognizant process. This is a function of physics, where that air that's warmer will migrate and pull that heat into the inbound air, but it also balances the moisture inside to outside. So if I have more moisture inside, I'm going to dilute that. If I have more moisture, when I say moisture, I mean water vapor outside, I'm going to reject some of that. So I can truly balance the moisture load in the house. It's a remarkable process, and it does nothing but bring value to the property itself, and allows the builder to build a tight enclosure, which in the long run will save a ton of money on heating and air conditioning. And that's the biggest value to the homeowner occupant, in addition to the air quality.
It's funny. I get to save money. That they pay attention to, but not the point of what it actually does and how it's good for you.
I got to pay $5,000 to go to the ER and get an inhaler, but doggone it if I have to pay an extra $50 for ventilation throughout the whole year. I can't do that.
That's why we're here. We're here to teach.
Right.
Mike, I know you started to use a lot of ERVs in your projects. What are you seeing as the benefit in terms of building sustainability and creating better environments?
I think it's got to be something that's in minimum code. And ERV, HRV, I'm more excited about the ERV. I've done a lot with Panasonic ERVs out there, and what it's doing is pulling in that fresh air from outside, exhausting the stale air. Here's a great example. If you got 100 people in your home because you're having a party, all of a sudden everyone's breathing the oxygen. They're giving off the carbon dioxide out of their own breath, and this starts to diminish the quality of the air inside your home. Especially working with Swidget, I know you're going to talk about it, but they go hand in hand. When the RV all of a sudden is told to turn on automatically because it's poor indoor air quality. Now, out of sight, out of mind makes sense. Just having your Panasonic ERV, I'm excited about this. I really am. And balancing or helping to reduce high moisture in your home is essential.
It's essential. Agreed.
So, Mike, one of the areas you just mentioned is the concept of managing indoor air quality in the background. Now, to me, that's always been the holy grail of home automation. If you got to think about these things, you tend to forget about them. But if you've got innovative tools in the background managing them, you've got a real game changer. So we've recently partnered with a leading home automation innovator called Swidget to create great solutions that monitor the indoor air quality, then take action immediately to improve it. You've been working with the Swidget solutions to make it right. And how's that changed the way you think about the indoor environment?
When I saw the two products, not just the two products, but the Whisper Air Repair, Swidget it works with your electrical system, your switches and your receptacles. And you can do plug and play from air sensors to lights to USB to cameras. What I'm excited about is the sensor that you can put in the living room, a sensor up in the bedroom, and that sensor is going to pick up through the Swidget and using the Panasonic ERV, it will pick up data that says your air is poor. Boom. Turn on the ERV to 100%. It's always going to run at 10% to keep that balance in the air. But when it's told to do it, and you don't have to, because minimum code says you have to have that switch by your thermostat, and you don't realize it, but you got to go over and turn it on to get it to 100%. Some people, having a lot of people in their home, will probably figure that out. But an automatic system that can then send you a notification to your phone saying you have poor indoor air quality, we're turning on the ERV to 100%. That's amazing.
One of the things that I like about the Swidget product, the ability to measure things outside of where the fan is, right? So we know we're going to have fans in the house. We have intermittent fan products in each bathroom. Everywhere there's hot water in the house, you're going to have a fan. However, the biggest challenge we have is turning the fan on and off. A fan has no value if it doesn't get turned on, right? So I can put a control with that Swidget device in the kitchen on one of the receptacles at my countertop. If I'm boiling water, if I'm baking a cake, if I'm baking a pie, if I'm making toast and I burn my toast, that sensor can trigger the fans to come on, right? We call that, in building science, we call it source management. You know, we We want to manage the problem at the source rather than let it permeate the house. And one of the questions I get all the time, how fast does moisture move across your house? And of course, very difficult to put a stopwatch on that, right?
It's kind of slow.
Yeah, but, well, think about this. How long does it take the smell of coffee to go from one end of your house to the other?
It's pretty quick, isn't it?
Pretty darn fast.
That's
and
true.
the smell of coffee is carried on water vapor. And essentially what you're doing is you're expanding the water vapor in the kitchen, and it's migrating to that balanced position, right? Which means I have lower pressure, lower water vapor in the bedroom, and now I can smell the coffee in there. However,
Which is, by the way, a good thing to smell the coffee. Then it makes you want
it's
to
always a good thing to smell, or bacon, you know, or any of those things, right? I'm all over that, except I have, maybe if I have a cold spot in my wall, all of a sudden that water vapor is going to go there and gather, and now I have the potential for mold and mildew, or mildew, right? So why can't I have a source solution just like that? And that's what Swidget has done for us. It's given a source solution, whether you're cooking or showering, or your washing machine is going, or your dryer is going, and you have a small crack in your dryer vent that's outgassing high moisture air, you know, the Swidget control is on guard 24/7.
I love that. I really love that.
Mike, I know you work a lot with builders across North America. What kind of message are you delivering about the importance of IAQ and indoor air quality, or if you will, and how to promote the value to the occupant? How are they reacting? I mean, one of the biggest challenges we have is getting a builder to sell the additional value of indoor air quality, right? It's invisible, as you said. How's that working? I mean,
unfortunately, all these years, minimum code is all about minimum code. It's going to be what's the depth of the wall, what's the R value that's going to be in the wall, what works in the area, and there's nothing really out there that changes code to make a healthy home. Okay, over the years, because we've made a more airtight home, we have pushed to put an ERV or HRV in certain areas and states that will say it's become code. But we need to go further than that. I'm working with all the builders across North America as much as I can to introduce using an ERV or a catalyst that starts the ERV, such as the Swidget system. I'm trying to educate to people out there that the importance of indoor air quality being healthy should be your number one thought, not at the bottom of the list. And it's not like it needs to be actually something to pay attention to, that every single home needs this. And that's what I'm trying to do.
These are our nests. Every breath has to be the best one you can take.
Well said.
Thank you. Ken, your team across the U.S. has thousands of partners in delivering great indoor air quality to homeowners. Are they seeing more awareness about indoor air quality from contractors and homeowners?
well, yes and no, right? Codes are moving. Right now, the codes want a tighter envelope. And to do a tighter envelope, you have to have a ventilation strategy. And again, my little mantra with ventilation is ventilation has to be predictable and uneventful. I want it to be consistent, and I want it to work when it needs to work. So we have all these different standards now that help identify what that value should be for air change and so forth, mechanical air change. But we still run into, as Mike talked about, price, cost, and value. The value of the house to the occupant, and the house and how it works as a system to the occupant. That message oftentimes gets lost at the builder level because he's got to sell his house. He's going to try to create a cost price point that's going to make sense to the buyer who's looking at a house 5 years older down the road for $5,000 less, right? But that house will not have the value that the current house has today. So,
But if we introduced and showed this, is that Panasonic's doing a Breathe Better program, and we start showing what's in the air. We can easily do that, especially in your 3D stuff. Think about that. We can show the particles and everything that we're breathing. And once people see what they're breathing, they're going to start paying attention to the ERV, to a Swidget system, to healthier air in your home.
that's always been the biggest challenge with ventilation, right? Is it's supposed to be invisible.
That's one of the reasons why we started the Breathe Well conversation. We wanted people to have an emotional connection to what's behind the walls in their homes and how that affects their families. And it's something nobody's talked about before. Now's the time for us to talk about this, particularly in a world where we're living, where we're constantly fighting airborne diseases such as SARS-CoV-2. Mike, we're here this week talking about sustainability and how we can contribute to that goal. In your view, how does indoor air quality fit into the goal of creating sustainable homes?
Sustainable, the word sustainable is all about building better homes that actually use less energy, and that's being sustainable. We need to look at that in every single aspect. One, our indoor air quality. That needs to be sustainable. We need to push our limits and do what we can to work on that to have a better air quality in home. I just can't say this enough. It should be the number one thing we think of before the cabinets in the kitchen.
So, Mike, I'd like your thoughts on air purification. Panasonic introduced a proven technology from Japan this year called Whisper Air Repair. The product uses our exclusive nano-EX technology to inactivate viruses, bacteria, mold, and mildew. We also use this technology in our ClimaPure heat pumps. Now, I understand you've used this in a few homes, including a very special renovation that you did for one of your long-term team members who had some serious health issues. What kind of a difference has that made?
Wow, you're talking about Frank, my electrician. I love that man. He has been with me from day one of shooting Homes on Homes. And here's a guy that's helped me help other people for all these years. And I can't tell you, 500, 700 shows I've done. I've done so many shows I don't even know the numbers anymore. Frank got really sick and he almost died. And that really, I kept looking at this like, I need to help him. I need to do something about this. He got a life-saving liver transplant. He went to the hospital. He got home. Things were not easy. They actually got harder for him. We went in. I demanded to the network, I need to go in and help him. Not only did we install the Panasonic ERV and the Swidget system, we installed the Whisper Air Repair. The Whisper Air Repair, it's ductless. We don't have to duct it outside. I put one in his bedroom, one in every bedroom, the living room, the kitchen, and it's based on square footage. On 4 watts of power in continuous run, I think this is like product of the century. I really do. It kills odors. That's nice. That's really nice. You don't have to light a candle anymore. What do I care about? It kills mold. It kills viruses, 99.99%. This is a product that actually, that should be minimum code. This is something I'll push to the government to say, this needs to be in every single home.
Mike, any final thoughts on the future of indoor air quality?
I think more that we work on this and work as a team to educate the homeowners out there about doing things right is understanding what is in the air and what it can do to us. What are the benefits of breathing wonderful air? Life. It's really that simple. The more we work together, this partnership that I have with Panasonic has excited me this year to no end, especially with the relationship, the ERV and the Whisper Air Repair. Like, this is something, I tell everyone about it, and now they want one. Because they understand it. I show them on the phone. I try to educate them, and I think by doing this, we're making it right.
Thanks, Mike. Mike, Ken, I appreciate it. It's great to be in a conversation with two people who are passionate about something that's so essential to the way we live our lives. And I want to thank you for your time today. So I'd like to thank you all as well for being with us today to join in a Breathe Well conversation about one of the most basic human needs, breathing fresh, clean air. Our homes are our nest, and the most important people in our lives share it with us. By making sure that each one of our 20,000 daily breaths are special, that our families are best protected against airborne pollution and disease, we're creating sustainable nests and securing a healthy future. We can't imagine a more important conversation to have with you. So thanks again. We are got a few minutes for any questions from the floor. If anybody has them, please just raise your hand and Jack will figure out a way to get you the question up to us.
At the end, we'll come to that. Yeah.
Everyone's talking, but what they're not realizing is that the air they're breathing in here commercially is better than residential because the code is stronger in commercial areas. Why? Because there's too many people in there and they don't want to be sued. But nobody really pays attention to you in your own home. Knowing about what we're talking about Panasonic's breathing, what's the program?
Breathe well.
Breathe well, I love that. Panasonic Breathe Well. Everyone should know about that. I want to breathe well, I want my kids to breathe well, and I want my grandkids to breathe well. My kids will have this, my grandkids will have this. I hope you guys do too. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you. Kev, thank you.
Well done. All right. Now let's just see if I can get up out of here without any sort of crazy noise.